Hey, hello, my dear friend Sir Eric Jeffrey Plot von Drakenberg. Again, I want to warn you. Do you remember long ago? I was in a river and I was thinking of you there, suggesting how good it would be if you would leave the city and get closer to nature and to Belize. Now you have done that. You are not only enjoying in Belize, but you are also enjoying the company of your family as a father, something which probably the path could have been different if you had kept on with what was seemingly attracting you back then. Now, your idea about the Everything app substituting access controlled by Russia and the nightmare of moderating interactions and uploads on a social network directed to children. I invite you, Sir Eric Jeffrey, to meditate, look within, and try to find out where the idea really comes from. If this really comes from the inside of your heart, or if there may have been an external influence, somebody injecting these ideas to you. With what intentions? Think for yourself, please, if your purpose is to serve humankind, serve the needs of people, or what is exactly the overall main goal of your project. It can be tweaked, adjusted, improved in many ways. But first of all, I just wanted to offer this kind advice that you may want to avoid the danger that they may have been conducting you through this path to prosecute you, basically, to provide a basis for your prosecution and or expulsion from the US and Russia, which means that what really should happen is exactly the contrary, that you have a very important mission to fulfill, to establish a bridge between the US and Russia. And they want you out of this very important, crucial, urgent, needed spiritual mission. Thank you for listening. Bye, Sir Eric. Greetings from Costa Rica.
Hey, Danny, my friend from Costa Rica. I'm reading through all your stuff, so I appreciate. I didn't just leave you hanging. I don't ignore. Since you took the time to write all this, and I immensely appreciate and take heed to everything you've ever told me as wisdom. And so I will just say, keep in mind the possibilities of the reality are that anything is possible if you work hard enough, right? So we have evaluated the back end. I've worked with not just one developer, but now hundreds of developers who are the top developers of Meta, Facebook, things like that. So it costs a lot of money. In fact, it's going to cost me even more money, which I don't really want to talk about. You would be blown away to see the numbers. Just like how Facebook got started. I think they needed first it was 1 million and then 8 million to develop it. And they got angel donations, which we had gotten a big donation as well originally in the development side of this. So it's not just one developer, keep that in mind. It's more so my idea. And I did do developing, and they took it to a whole new level. I didn't think it was going to turn into this, which you may have heard about WeChat. we're kind of replicating this or the X Everything app. We're just doing a different route. Let's just say that. And so if you could, I appreciate if you kept all this between us, because, for example, the whole idea of Russian sanction is a whole new arena. I've made my daughter, Katushka. Katushka is the face of the app. So there's a whole storyline between this. I'm developing this, we're promoting it for her. And like you said, it is with good intention, whether it be this or that. It's just another social media, but with just different caveats that I'm putting into the development and benefits as far as making money and things like that. Keep in mind, like, the parents are the ones who are initially making the money. It's put into a treasury. When the child turns 18, they can access that legally on their own. But primarily, we're seeing this is not anything new. The only thing that's different is since the app allows younger, let's say under 12 years old, to be on the app. So, like, it puts them in a whole other category or arena. They're not going to be placed like with adults necessarily. And mainly this is a way with the AI to say your child is 4'5" in height. They have brown eyes and dark hair, some sort like that, right? They are their talent is dancing, or say they can do acting and things like this. So all this put into a resume, and basically I'm teamed up with Russian modeling agencies, some of the top ones actually out there. And so basically with that in mind, they're able to go through all the scope of every user, which are paid premium users, by the way. So you have to pay a certain amount, and there's a lot of more details into all this, but basically they can source what it is they're looking for in this directory. See, there's never been a social media app designed specifically for models and the usage for modeling agencies. It just happens to have all the different apps combined into one fused application. And so this is kind of what makes it unique. It's just every facet. And of course, it is capable of blocking any type of perverted statements. The human intervention would be if there was something just, I don't know, like a threat, a death threat or something like that, would be notified immediately, whether it's to the FBI or police agencies and things like that. But ultimately, yeah, we've already tested it throughout the years. And basically it can see what anyone says, and it can block it or filter it, let's say, which Facebook and many of these apps could already do this, but they decided not to do it. So all we're doing is adding that functionality on with a very strict moderated setting, parental settings, by the way. So a lot of this it's basically an app for the parents, is what it is, such as myself. And, having children, how it is as a father. Having that power of overseeing moderation is very crucial and important. And so if you actually look deeper into all of it, you'll find that it is possible, everything that I've said. So don't cut it short just yet. When it comes out, and you will see, I hope that I invite you to test it out and try it out for yourself one day. And see where we go from there. But yeah, like I said, a lot of it's out of my hands. It's on a higher authority at that point. I knew that this was something special, and that will there be negative? I'm sure there's cons to everything in life in general, right? Good and evil and this and that. But the singularity of as is above is below is why I sent that to you, that ultimately the singularity is, and it becomes that, like, we're going into a park, you can't run and hide from the park. We all go to the park, and I want to create a world of peace and harmony in that Holy Spirit realm, right? So your child should be able to perform artistically, express themselves, whether it's music, there'll be musicians on here, and they should be any age. And of course, I feel that they should be distributed accordingly based upon their talents. They can achieve treasure box rewards, coins or tokens, right? A system where basically those are points, like the games you see. So if the kids are playing games anyway, Fortnite, Roblox, things like that, what if we tied it into this application? So they're actually getting off the couch, they're going in, they're dancing out in nature, they're doing things productive, getting connected with God in nature. And sure, they can actually make an occupation of this, an economy and a social structure where people can bring value to this and border it over to all people, from whether in Russia, China, America, because dealing with this with my own children and things like that, being in Russia, in Moscow, okay, there's a huge line where I can only communicate with them through Telegram, for example. Facebook was banned, TikTok, Instagram. So I thought, why not go to the source of this heavenly divinity of rules, right? And of course, Russia, they take the cake of the highest sanctions of anyone in the world, on the planet. In fact, they go as far as say that they want to ban Satanism, things like that, right? So anyway, I don't want to go too long and make this too lengthy here, but basically pouring out my strategic calculation on all this as well, so you understand a little bit deeper. I only was able to tell you so much, and briefly, gazing over it, there's a lot more depth to this project and the app in general than just a safest app for children or people. That's only a little minute, aspect of this project and the application itself. Like I was saying, if Russia is the one that is overseeing what is posted and what is allowed, which there's things they can't post about. Like that's why X was banned, because too much freedom of speech and things like that, right? So basically keeping it very subtly at the surface level of talent and posting artwork, music, and keeping it to that social structure, trying to stay far away from, as possible, religiosity, politics, sexual orientation. As you know, LGBT, all that is kind of banned in a sense in Russia. So not promoting that. So really it's kind of the most conservative yet cool and popular app, like a Facebook that is for, I guess you could say, more conservative or culturally, family values traditionally. Let's just say that. So anyway, I think you understand where I'm getting at with this. So it's not really promoting any ideology of Satanism necessarily. You still can do what you want. It's just without any illegal terminologies. Because I can show you, go on X.com right now and look up Omegle, hashtag it, and you'll see there is child pornography on X.com all over it. And I was shocked to see that. And all you can do is report it. But that's just an example that it gets through. And we've tested so many hours. I've tested Facebook and Twitter and X.com, all of them. And come to find my disappointment in how there is very little to no moderation and filtration of this type of content. So anyway, much love to you, my brother Daniel. I've gone too long with this, but I just thought I'd...
Rasputin, я хочу пиво, я люблю пиво. Я привет, и Катя, и airplane Miami, Florida. Я как раз меня зовут Portnikov, и папа.
Yeah, what he said.
И хорошо, for sure хорошо. Да, свой.
Mama.